So in our next topic, we're going to talk about Tesla financing and what to do if you've been denied. I certainly think like this is going to start happening a lot more than what it has been in the past. And it's going to be across all different applications for financing, because banks, if you don't know what's going on, there's a lot of, roller coasterness with different banks out there. And the same thing is happening with on the credit side of things. And so banks are going to tighten up. They have been for a little bit. They're going to push you through more hoops to try and get your auto loan approved. But let me know if you're getting an easy experience. Usually the Tesla financing is usually the easiest. But of course, all these other credit unions that all have lower rates are going to be a lot higher. So I'm going to give you the PSA or the tips on if you get denied, what are your options and what can you do. But if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best deal on Tesla with the best financing rate. So definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested. And today's video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link down below in the description. If you want to get the best buying guide for Tesla buying and get the best deal and the best financing rates that are all better than Tesla financing, definitely check it out. Patreon link down below in the description. And so let us get into this. Shout out to Car Dealership Guy, one of our favorites that we always talk about on the channel. He posted this and it got me thinking. He said, quote, one in 11 US borrowers is now being rejected for an auto loan, being denied. Quote, auto loan denial rate rose to 9.1% in February, a 6-year high, and up from 5.8% in October. And so what's going on here? Well, if you don't know, the banks are going through a little bit of turmoil right now. And since interest rates have been going up, banks are getting a lot more strict on who they are actually approving for their loans. And so you really have to make sure all your ducks are in a row. You've got good credit, good income, good maybe even down payment. And so once you apply, the easiest place that has been known for a while to get approved is through Tesla financing. Of course, Tesla financing is not the best rate. It's 5.59%. It's probably one of the higher ones, but you can go through credit unions to save a little bit, get 3.5, 4.5, maybe even as low as 2.5%. Then, some of those credit unions are a little bit strict. But if you do go that route, those credit unions, because they're offering such a better good rates, they're going to be even more strict with you. So if you go through Tesla financing, it's pretty easy. You do social and all that stuff. They hit your credit and then you're good to go. But going through credit unions to get a better rate, they're going to ask for income statements, possibly paychecks, maybe even a W-2 or tax return statements if you're self-employed or anything like that. And so just be a little bit wary about that. So it's worth it for the extra lower rate, especially if you're keeping a loan for 60, 72 months, maybe even dare I say 80, 84 months. And so it definitely could be worth it because you're going to save a lot of money in interest through the long term. But that's the thing, right? If you do get denied, what are your options? And so I've always recommended for a while, like if you're going to apply through one credit, to apply to a bunch of them all within the same week or two, because as long as you do it within the same week, then you're pretty much just going to be one credit hit on your inquiry for your credit because they know you're kind of shopping for the best rate. And so you'll be perfectly fine to do that. But of course, at the end of the day, you should have a backup plan. And so the backup plan is applying through Tesla financing because you can switch easily at any point to a different credit union, or at least you can tell Tesla you're switching. And to make sure you have a backup plan because you want to make sure you've got your financing locked in at some sort of financing so you can take delivery. But if you get denied, from Tesla financing, what are your options? Well, the first option is you can email Tesla to try and ask them if there's any sort of other banks that they can go through. It's called what's called a rehash. But the first thing you can do is actually get a co-signer, get someone that will come to the table with you and buy the car with you. On top of that, the better thing probably to do is try and figure out if you can squeeze more cash into the deal because that's the whole reason why you're most likely getting denied is because the bank kind of looks at your deal, looks at how much you're putting down, looks at your credit, and they basically assume that there's too much risk, I guess, in the deal. And that's where you could also try other banks like Tenet, where Tenet, they are a sponsor of the channel, where they can allow you to push off the $7,500 of the financing to have a low monthly payment because they understand EVs a little bit differently. They know there's a tax credit that's potentially coming. thing. And so they'll defer that $7,500 off of the loan, and so you can have a lower monthly payment. So Tenet link down below in the description if you want to check them out and see what they have to offer to the play as well. But really, that's only the tips. The tips, like, make sure you get a co-signer. If you don't get approved, make sure to try and come to the table with more money or down payment. And if you know you're going to be buying a car in the next 30 to 60 days, try and clear as much debt as possible from your credit. Like, pay off cards if you can, wait the 30 days, or try and get late payments off of your credit. Maybe call those banks or credit cards and see if they can remove it for you, or you can plead with them and apologize and things like that, or even maybe hard inquiries. You can try and get those off as well. But definitely some tips. Good luck out there. There's definitely rates better than Tesla financing at 5.59%. And if you want to check out videos on the channel or even the Patreon link down below in the description. But let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you've been denied recently, what did you have to do? Or if you've been approved recently, what hoops did the banks make you go through to try and get an actual approval? But we're going to jump back into the live stream comments. But before we do that, this video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link. Down in the description, there's a Patreon link where you support the channel, and there's a variety of benefits, but some of them could actually scheduling a call with me. We can ask me any questions about buying a Tesla, selling a Tesla, or even financing a Tesla. And after you join the Patreon, you get a link to my buying guide, which has links to all the resources that I use to get the best possible deal at the best financing rate, including credit unions and banks on that list that all have interest rates lower than Tesla financing, so you can get really good financing. So definitely check it out. Link down below in the description.